Uh, Hello everyone. Hi guys. So can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up once if you can hear me. Hello. Hello everyone. Hi guys. So can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up once if you can hear me. Hello. Good evening guys. Hello. Hello everyone. Hi guys. So can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up once if you can hear me. Yeah, so I can see a lot of you have joined and we will start in a moment. Before that, have you guys actually learned anything in the previous classes? And I hope you guys have learned something, and it would be a eye-opening session for you all guys that how much AI has for you in the future, and what all things you can do with AI in future. Yeah. So while going deep dive into it, I just want to tell you about a special program which SmartHead has come up with for you is their on-campus ambassador program. You know, you all want to create impact in your CVs, impact on every other one's life. Yeah, and this program, on-campus program with SmartHead is that purpose only, serves you that purpose. And how? By becoming the smart a campus ambassador for our national boot camp which is in collaboration with NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. You can boost your CV with working with SmartTed and getting recognition with NSDC. We also provide free access to a premium course of worth 5,000 rupees and also provide completion certificates and letter of recommendation to those of you who have performed excellently. Yeah, and also what you just have to do is I'll give you the form. You just have to fill it, and our team member will contact you regarding the assignments. Once you do those assignments, you will be assigned as a campus ambassador for Smarted. Sure. So, what is the responsibilities of a campus ambassadors? You have to promote uh, the good word, the spread the word about smart ed innovation across your campus. You have to be mouthful about what you can learn, what you have learned from smart ed, and help your peers to grow. Organize and plan engaging workshops in collaboration with smart ed so that you and your peers can learn a lot of things. Sure. And then to engage with people around. Make yourself bold enough to come up with new ideas, to exchange new views on technology and all. Fine. So, who all can apply it for? You just have to be what you say, a- the most enthusiastic person, and that's all. Fine. To get started, just fill out the form first, and our executive will contact you, and you will receive a small task to begin with, bridging a gap between your campus and our organization. And upon successful completion of all those things, you will unlock the list of perks and benefits which I have told you. Sure. So, before going to today's agenda, I want to show you a few things. Today we will learn about CNN. Okay. So how many of you have actually have used facial detection on their phone? If you can tell it. Hello. So have you all ever used facial detection on your phone? I think so. You all would have. So what do you think is behind that technology? Of course, the technology has evolved, and but what was the base from which that technology has come up from? That is CNN. And what is CNN? CNN is a deep learning architecture a method which is we use to uh, it is let's just get started with CNN is or convolutional neural network are the class of deep learning neural networks specially designed for processing grid-like data such as images. And we know what computer understands, not images, but the numbers. So how do we have bridged this gap? For example, if we would have taken any of the image, take any image in your mind, and you want to send it to a computer itself. So how would you do that? You will convert it into bits and pieces, right? And yeah, it is built on matrices, sure. I'll post the attendance in between the class so that I can make sure that you guys are listening. Fine. So we'll send you the attendance link in between the class. I'll share that in the chat itself. And from there you can uh, fill in the form and get your attendance for today. So let's just get started with, and I have created a doc for you to understand what is CNN, and I'll try to share it with after this session in the comment section itself if you want to watch or learn. So talking about CNN, take any picture in your mind. Let's just say we have taken a picture uh, of this person. How would you send it to? A matrices, a one person has sent it through matrices. हम इसका matrices बनाएंगे. We will put it in those matrices. हर row को एक vector बनाएंगे. We will put those things in a vector. Fine. So how we will do this? We will convert these things into matrices. This image into a matrix, right? We will send it to a neural network model and it will give a output. So what architecture is behind it? Because normally you cannot send a large number since there are a lot more back calculations in neural networks. You cannot just send a lot more data and expect it to do uh, calculation very swiftly due to computational limitations of your PCs, right? So we have come up with a technique in 1990s that is convolutional neural networks. For what it basically does is it divides your image into several matrices, and because your images at for this examples is in RGB, आपके images जो है वो RGB में है, ठीक है? And these RGB images are 256 into 256 bit types. And how many pixels would be there? I have mentioned it around here is 196,608 pixels. So you can think how many inputs will be there. You guys remember how is how we write the neural network? So you guys can think of mhm. So you guys can think of so many inputs will be there if there are 196,608 over a lakh of input to, and there will be so much of complications in calculations, right? So we come up with a simple technique of CNN which actually uses the concept of pooling. And what is pooling? Pooling is uh, just bringing down the number of pixels and by also retaining most of the significant features. Okay. And next is it actually preserves a lot more spatial relationships which a normal neural network cannot do. And because of the nature of neural network, they can be fully connected with each other with all the nodes, and they cannot. But what happens if all the nodes are interconnected? It gives a very good calculation of the weights. So what happens is the results are great. So going to the next thing, how you are actually going to the convolution neural network. आप convolution layer क्या होती है ये समझते हैं, ठीक है पहले. So आप, if you can see, I have zoomed in. Is it okay? So we have just, for an example, have created a matrices of input. Okay, and the pixels are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 to up to 25, and we have actually created a filter layer. And what this filter layer does is we uses a sliding approach mechanism. And what is that sliding approach mechanism? हम क्या करते हैं इस अप्रोच में, हर पिक्सल पे ये 3x3 मैट्रिक्स को लेके जाते हैं और इसका इनर प्रोडक्ट करते हैं. एंड हाउ डू वी डू दैट? we multiply 1 into 1. You can see input into filter, ठीक है. input into filter देखना, 1 into 1 plus 2 into, what is this, 2 into 0, okay, 3 into -1 plus, okay, you went with first row, then the second one, and you do this for subsequently for all the filters, and go and cover all the input layers with one by one. Okay, like for the first 9 element, 1 2 3 6 7 8 11 12 13, you filter using this, and you will get something like -6 in your output as your output. Then what you do is you leave 1 6 and 11 and go to 2 3 4 7 8 9 12 13 and 14. If, and similarly multiply 2 to 1, 3 to 0, 4 to -1, and so on to get your results, right? So what it actually does, is it provides you a smaller input data which actually stores more or less the most important information for you to understand in the image. Fine. Next is, as you can see, there is a hidden layer, and what we have taught understand in the last class was there is an activation layer. यहाँ पर एक एक्टिवेशन लेयर होती है जो हमारे इनपुट को एक अलग फॉर्म में क्रिएट करती है, ठीक है. ये तुम्हारा लीनियर हो सकता है, नॉन लीनियर हो सकता है, एंड बिकॉज आवर फेस डेटा, इमेज डेटा इज नॉट अ लीनियर फॉर्म, वी यूज नॉन लीनियर एक्टिवेशन फंक्शंस. Okay, so just giving you a brief idea what is activation function. It is a crucial, you can see on the Google itself, activation functions are the crucial components in neural network that determines a neuron's output based on its input. It is very simple to understand. Okay, so what is the purpose of hidden layer? Hidden layer has actually been there to help us to manage weights. All the layers have been actually connected with some weights, okay, and these weights are and there are some biases. So what happens is when you give weights to some features and reduce weights to some other features, you will get an output, and all these behind hindsight black box kind of calculation happens in hidden layer. Okay. Okay, so after going through activation function, let's just see. And the most common we use in convolutional neural network is ReLU, which is rectified linear unit, and it is just a small, basic mathematical function which says we will take maximum of the value of either 0 or x. अगर इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, fx एक ऐसा फंक्शन है, ओके, जो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू लेता है जीरो या तुम कोई वैल्यू दिए. इफ you have given 0 and 10, the function will give 10 as output. Okay. If you have given 0 and minus 1, output will be 0. Okay. Okay, guys. To process the input for output, we use hidden. Yeah. Hidden layers are the core computational architectures. Okay. So what activation function introducing non-linearity actually means? Non-linearity actually means is, take an example, you want to create a classifier. Okay. Either this person, okay, this is a pen or this is a hand. If you can see it, this is a person, hand or a pen. Okay. So what do? You can't just separate it because these are two different images. Okay. And there you cannot just simply create a boundary out of it because there this is a matrix. Okay. So what happens is you use different activation functions according to your need. For example, if you are making a simple classifier, you would be using something of a logic functions. Okay. Just like you use in spam filtering. Okay. So what happens is it will give you two values between whom you in which you can set up some function values. I can just show you the graph. Uh, okay. So if you, as you can see, uh, as you can see in this image, if you guys can see this image, what you see is this is a logic function and it has values in between 0 and 1. And if you want to classify this as pen and this as 1, and you say 0 is hand and 1 is pen, your input will go towards 1. Okay, giving you a non giving you the classification of this as pen. Okay, so this is how non-linearity actually works. Giving the input, it transform it in such a way that your classification, or you can say different classification in this context, will go to the output which you want. There are different activation function, as you can see, sigmoid, tanh, and leaky relief. These are all different types of activation function, and I suggest you to read about all these things because we have limited time and we have to cover a lot of things today. So I'm just rushing up to few things, but I will be giving this PDF to you guys. You can in the comment section, and you guys can read after the session. Okay. So then we do pooling of 2 cross 2. Okay. What does pooling do is we take the values, uh, as we don't take the values as it is. We reduce it into spatial dimensions. Like we do not want it to be 1 to 25 number, 25, 5 cross 5 image. We have reduced this to 16s. Okay. So what it does is it gives us a smaller layer. Then what we do is get a smaller input for input layer to go to hidden layer, so reducing our computations. So next would be fully connected layers, traditional neural network where each neurons of all neurons in the previous usually use at end of the classification. हम सारे के सारे neurons को सारे के सारे नोड से कनेक्ट करते हैं इसमें, ठीक है. So how CNN works? Step by step process. First is feature detection. हम इस image में, for example you can see this image, हम इस image में अलग 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 इसमें edit करते हैं. एक second, you can edit this. can't edit right now, but okay, no problem, no issues. Yeah. So as you can see, we can actually make matrices in this and just have different features. Okay, let's just say we oh, we have category divided into different pixels. This image, this has some features, this box has some feature, this box has some features. Okay, this place has some features, and giving these features to sheet and extracting these features will help us to understand what kind of image it is. And when we have a large, let's just say thousands of these images, the similarity of these pixels will help us to classify if this is a human or not. Okay, so what is the next is feature mapping. We create multiple feature maps. We use just say the feature mapping like we have used here is using these filters we create different feature maps. Okay, and where is that? Then we send all these to our nonlinearity activation functions, which transform it and help us, and then we reduce the dimensions, and then we do some higher the functions which are needed, it's like propagations and all to classify if this is a pen or this is a pencil. Okay, or my hand. Okay, so not boring you with all those stuff. Let's just see a working example. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah, sure. I'll be sending PDF after the session. Okay, you guys can see the screen, right? So, okay. So to just get started with what is there, uh, sorry. Hmm, yeah. So before that, I have told you about TensorFlow. Okay, and what was TensorFlow? TensorFlow is a library which has been developed by whom? Google, and it is a very important library for you to understand and use deep learning methods like CNN, RNN, LSTM, and many more things. Like you can make transformers and you can use it in natural language processing, which in turns will make you help you understand how large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini actually works. So to understand all those things, I suggest you going through TensorFlow libraries, go through their community and documentation. There are a lot of example to understand how these things actually work. Since we have not a lot of time, I'll just go through what I have prepared for you. So we will import TensorFlow. We are doing all this thing in Python. Okay. So we are doing all this thing in Python. So I have used import functions, which is import TensorFlow as TF. And I have also used Keras library, which is an API which help us to use TensorFlow in much efficient way. So from TensorFlow.keras, I have imported layers and models. Okay. And then we have used NumPy as NumPy. Okay. NumPy is a package which help us to vectorize array in the model. We arrays in Python itself, because array computation in Python is actually slow. So what we use is here is NumPy, which is a vectorization, which actually makes our computation act very fast. Then we have used matplotlib to plot and print some of the images which we will use. Okay. So in the next step, we have load our data. We always use training training data. uh, okay, so xtrain is the images. And also before going to what is this architecture all about, just have to show you what images dataset we are actually using. We are actually using an IST dataset, which is of handwritten images. Okay, so it is something like this. So as you can see, here are different numbers written. Okay, and open image in new tab. So you can see there are different numbers written, handwritten numbers, and you have to identify what kind of numbers it is. We have seen these things actually in real life when we have used Google Lens and it identified what it is written, right? It is kind of an OCR kind of thing which you actually use in real life. So how it works is we will see. So we in X we have uh, these images. In Y we have labels. And since it is a supervised learning, we provide both input and output for it to learn. Okay. And then there are tests, and we have divided into training dataset and test dataset. Okay. Then we have normalized pixel values to 0 to 1. You guys know that pixel values have from 0 to 250 is in 256 bit for RGB images. So to normalize it between 0 and 1 and make computation much more easier and faster, we normalize it. And how do we normalize it? We normalize it by putting the each pixel values to float of 32 bits and divided it by 255. Why 255? Because we know there are how many bits? 256 bits in RGB. And since we started from 0, we use 255. Okay. Then uh, everybody's clear till now. What is pixel value? Okay. What is pixel value? Each pixel which we every image is made of a building block called pixels, and every pixel has some value which, and this value is the data which in which if we collect it to form something will give us an image. Okay, like the image we see, this is a pixel, this is a pixel, this is a pixel. Okay, this will have some values in math when we vectorize it. This will have some values, this will have some values. So just to normalize it and make the computation much more easier, we normalize it by dividing it by 255 so that it will be in between 0 and 1. Next is we reshape the data. We want our data in certain dimensions which the TensorFlow libraries actually allow us. That is 28 into 28 dimensions. Okay, 28 pixels into 28 pixels के dimensions में हमें बनाने हैं. Okay guys. Next is convert labels into categoricals. Okay, since what do you mean by this? Uh, what we do here is we get 1, 2, 3, 4 as the labels for the images. So to help this model or the computer, or you can say this TensorFlow understand, we uses a function called utils to categorical, so that it transfers this thought process. Okay, just say think of as a philosophy that it transfers what do you say to the computer. Okay, like one is the image classified as, and one, let's just say one ONE is there classifying numerical 1. Okay, so there it would be classified as, let's just say 1, 2, TWOS 2, 3, in such a way that all the images of 2 will be mapped with 2, all the images will of 3 will be mapped with 3 and so on. Okay. Then we will build our model in such a way. Models, okay, equal to models. Okay, we have imported models from tensorflow.keras and we have used sequential method. What sequential method does is it, and we can very much understand by looking at this word only. हम ये देख के समझ सकते हैं कि ये एक sequence की बात कर रही है. It talks about a sequence and all the steps where we go is do follows a sequence. It is not like that. First layer will directly go to third and then go to seventh and then comes back to second. Okay. It goes from first layer to second layer to third layer to the end layer. Okay. So uh, what we do here is first layer is our convolutional layer. And what is convolutional layer? The filtering part. Okay. So what do is we use 32 different kind of filters. Okay, that is feature detectors. We you know we want to have different features in our images to understand our model to understand our model better to and then classify and make a prediction or classify it to give us a better result, right? So official. Okay, guys, I'll be putting attendance shortly. So wait for that and just let me complete this section and we will give the attendance. Take the attendance. Okay. So next is the convolutional neural network. 330, that is 232 filters we are using and filter size is 3 cross 3. Okay, that is what it is written. Then it goes to the activation function, that is ReLU. Okay, it also mentioning this is a multi-layer architecture. So in the second layer, what we do is we send the previous input to the next hidden layer and having its uh, feature size as 64. Okay, and with filter size of 3 cross 3 itself and activation of ReLU. Keeping the max pooling to the same, we go to the third layer. Again to convolutional 3D, 2D, and then 60. We again take 64 uh, as the filter or the feature detectors. Then set up the filter size as 3 cross 3 and activation layer. Okay. Okay. So what happens after that is we compile this using optimizer Adam. And what this optimizer Adam does is it optimizes our deep learning model in such a way that it reduces the errors and gives the best output possible. In a layman terms, you have to understand what is Adam. You just go and look what is Adam optimizer. Okay. So then we will print model summary and then we will train the model. And how do we train the model? We use model.fit. Okay. Then we provide our training data, our testing data, the batch size, कितने batches में जाएंगे ये. Okay. The epoch. Epoch is how many times do you want your model to learn. Okay. क्या एक बार चलेगी आपकी मॉडल, 2 बार चलेगी, 10 बार, 1000 बार. You can decide it through epoch. Okay. Making epoch uh, a big digit will help you getting a better result, but it is not all every time the case. Okay. All as it can go cause the issue of overfitting. Then we have the validation dataset on which we test our model on and get a score. Okay. And here are the codes which I have used to plot these images of the dataset. I have run this code once so that you can actually view. Okay. So the first layer we have is convolution. Okay. Then next layer we have max pooling layer which we have used. Then is the convolution layer. Next is max pooling, and so on. As you can see, we have just trained once on this data set of 1000 images and we got 97. This 0.97 is out of 1. So we can say that it is 97.94% accurate. Okay. And for example, this like got, this is, we can see it as 5, handwritten as 5. So the label it got was 5. Similarly, this is 0, this is 4, this is 1, and this is 9. So what happens is, uh, we make prediction for some new images. So when we predict it, this came as to be a 4. We can see it as something as 4. It is as true, the true, and it is as 0. Okay. So this is how the basic CNN actually works. I have also given you different types of CNN methods which are is being used, which are built on top of this, like L LeanNet, okay, AlexNet, VGG16, okay, and many more layers. Okay. So moving forward, uh, let me just give you the attendance sheet so that you guys can mark the attendance. Wait a second, guys. I'll be giving you the attendance. Okay, I have given the form link. Uh, you guys can go and look for and give your attendance. Fine. Okay. So moving on to, okay, I have given the form link. Uh, uh, the next topic which of today was facial detection of things, right? So I have again made a script for you which you can go and see and just help you to see how this thing actually works, what all we have done. Okay. And I'll show you a tool which uses AI, and without you knowing any code, you can actually make a very good and decent apps website through it. Okay. Let's just say we choose any file, and the using this we can actually detect a face in an image. Okay. So remember this code. We will be working onto this code tomorrow to make mod a live stream model which will use your webcam or any camera to detect a face in a video. Okay. So remember those things, guys. So I'll be sharing this also with you so that you can understand. So one basic thing you should understand using face detection is there are few libraries. You that is CV2, that is OpenCV library, and OpenCV library is the library which is being used to do real-time computer vision tasks. All those things you see doing using cameras, working with images, are being done using OpenCVs. Okay, so it is an open source library which you guys can use to build a lot of great apps, great websites, great tools. Okay. And the important aspect here is where when we are using CV2, we use cascade filters as harsh cascade. And what is harsh cascade? Harsh cascades are, this was given by Paul Weiler and Michael Jones in 2001, which says that if an image has some features like the a black and a white band in this format in an image, theoretically it is a face. So you all can see that this feature resembles eyes, this as nose, and this as mouth. Or it is much more clearer in this picture also, like as you can see for nose, eyes, how it is being there. Okay, so we have used harsh cascading in it. So next, moving on to next, the tool which we have discussed upon, right, and which we will be using a lot to make a great to programs, or we can say apps, or whatever you want, even you if you are new to coding, or even you don't know any coding, and you know what these new types of coding styles are actually being called to? Vibe coding, where you act as a manager and don't have to know any code, but you just have to delegate it to the agents, which hindsight use LLMs and make a great app, wonderful app for you. Okay, many of the new tech startups, many of the new startups are actually using it. Few of the startups which you can actually think upon is a very famous hiring platform which is being using it is let's is one of a kind is the Hyperdy, which helps you connect with different uh, uh, employer. Okay, so another is Grad AI, which helps you make resumes, and all these are built through using the tools, agents, which we will learn. Okay, so how the cursor actually works, and before that, just giving a heads up to all you guys, if you don't know how to install cursor or know about cursor. Cursor is an AI code editor. Okay, it is just like VS Code editor but with steroids. And how and why I'm calling it on steroids, because it has so many models built into it. Uh, and by models I mean large language models, which help us to make codes without knowing anything uh, from before. Okay, so let's just go to the steps and how to install the cursor in your PC. Go to cursor.com, and it you will get three types of pricing option: hobby, pro, and business. We will use free tier, which will give 200 completion, 200 tries per month. Okay, which will be uh, sufficient for us for this course. But if you want to check more of these things, you can switch on to pro and businesses as if you want. So go and download it. Okay, once it gets starts downloading, uh wait a second, just accept all those things. Because add to the file explorer and context menus. Okay, what it help you does is whenever you want to open a project, you can directly open it into cursor without going to the cursor itself. Okay, install. Yeah, you guys can work on VS Code also. Okay. You guys can work on VS Code also, but this is a code editor which is very similar to VS Code, and it will help you to do your code actually very fast. It will make your requirement PDF, even launch the apps for you. Okay, whatever you want. You should use VS Code. Okay, but using this tool editor, you can also make great things even if you don't know coding at all. Okay, so we will just log in it. Okay, you will be sent to a page like this. Okay, uh, once again, guys. Okay, you will going to log in with Google. Let me just log in it with Google and then show you. Okay, 1 minute, guys. We have to sign up. Sorry. Oh, I press the login window, so we will be logging in. Sign up. Sign up using your any of the Google IDs, and you will get the access to cursor. A moment, internet slow. Okay, so this is how you log in. Okay. Skip and continues. Continue to all those things. Install the terminals because here we will be needing all those things. Okay. Again, you have to log in once again. Signing in to your cursor account to use the cursor tool. If you guys can see, I'll try to increase the font size also. Okay, a moment, guys. Let's log in. Okay. As you can see, we have logged into the cursor and we have to do new chat. Okay. And before that, you just open a project. Let's just say we go to our download sections, open a new project, okay, new folder, cursor, tutorials, okay, okay. Open folder, and let's just say we want to make an basic Python app, okay, basic Python, basic Python apps. Okay, what do you want to do? Okay, a simple calculator app, okay. Let's just say we want to make a simple calculator app in Python. What it, so see what's the beauty of it. Okay, it will give you all the codes which you are needed to run. Okay. It will make it will generate the whole code for you. Okay, you can accept it and run it, and before that you just have to install Python in your, you just have to accept the code, and when you run it, what happens is you can just see installing. So what do you see here? What do you want to do? We want to add. For add, we use one. What the first number is 43, second number is 55, 54, and what it gives is 97. So did we do anything? We just have to act as a manager to this crazy good tool, okay, and can make a lot of new things, and it just creates endless possibilities. It's just your thinking and what you all can make from and make use of this code tool from. Okay. One more thing which I have to tell you is this: since you only get 200 prompts, use your prompts carefully and make the best use of prompts. Okay. Next, in the next class, which will in that we will be using this cursor tool with the help of. Okay, is there any free version of the tool? Yes, the free version of the tool is there, which we are using. For students, they provide student access, but with that is not available in India. If any of your friends living in US or UK, you can ask them for that. But so, as for now, they don't provide free student access for students in India. Okay. Okay, the cursor is a database that allows you to select persistent rules, set the rules. Yeah. So what happens is cursor uses a lot of different uh, LLMs and models in hindsight, like uh, Claude, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, to make these all course, and using these different models and capabilities of models, you can make different kinds of apps. Okay, so in the next class, what we will do is we will use YOLO, and YOLO again is a very interesting thing. What YOLO does is it is an extension of CNN and helps you to understand uh, why the basics of CNN was very important, because you can make a lot more new things on top of it, and just like YOLO. And what YOLO does is it is a very fast uh, deep learning model which helps you to identify different objects in an image. For example, uh, if you take an example of a different blood cell images, you can identify which is a blood cell and which is not. Like this, you can see these all are blood cells which are termed as one, and this bluish part is two, which is not a blood cell. So I would suggest you to go through YOLO V5 on roboflow.com. Okay, and try using cursor AI to understand how this thing actually works. Okay, few of the things you should know is you can use settings to see how your chat is, how many your again have to change it to again and again. This thing you have to do a lot of time, but you can see there are only two requests which we have used. We have 150 requests for this month. Okay, so use your request wisely and make the best use of the prompts. Make the prompt in such a way that you will are describing it as a manager to your subordinate teams, and help them to understand what actually a client wants, and they will make the best app for you. Okay. So again, if you guys understand everything, uh, please tell. And even if you have not understand anything, you can ask right now. We have 5 minutes. And before that, taking any questions, I'll again tell you to go through uh, the pinned comment uh, where you can see the forms. Okay. This is here you can see the day two attendance. Uh, as you can see, this is the Google Forms which you will go, which we have also shared in pinned comments. Fill in this form, and if you are interested in the Campus Ambassador program, which is a very great program started by Smarted, which will help you to understand the working of startups, okay, and help you to get earn some stipend if you get selected. You can also get a full-time offer if you are graduating, okay, and you will certainly get, if you are selected, a free access to pro program, okay, and of course you will get free and it is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything upfront to us, okay, and you will get a certificate of appreciation or recommendation letter from Smarted and NSDL, which will help you to boost your CVs and your resume. Okay, okay, guys. So let me show again once again. This is on-campus ambassador program, and for this you only have just a basic qualification that you have to be smart. You have to be bold enough to communicate with people. Okay, so what you just have to do is to promote our organization, organize among your peers the engaging workshop and student events, and make an awareness about a smarted. Next is, what is the rule? Make the professional conduct, follow up brand guidelines, and the regular feedback which will give it to you, which will also help you in your character building, right? So these are the benefit of the program: official recognition, career opportunities with us, professional growth, and free access to our programs that is worth over 4,500 rupees. Okay, so application, for you just have to sign in yes to get part of this absolutely brilliant program. You just have to select yes and submit it, and our executives will contact you regarding to this. Okay, guys, so I'll be taking, you guys can see the form is in the chat, right? It is pinned in the chat section. Please see if you can put your attendance here, and how I can get CNN IPYNB file and this PDF. These two things will be shared to you in the comment section after the stream ends. Okay. I have GitHub Pro. Ah, that's great. Coded JID. You can use GitHub Copilot also. If there is no CSC branches, put the most relevant branch which you can think of, and I'll try to I'll let the executive knows any issues. You can select information technologies, or there is computer science. Okay, there's computer science you can apply for, and if you are from any other branches which is not mentioned, just go with other. Okay, and put your stream. Fine. The class duration is for 1 hour. It starts from 8:15 and ends to till 9:15. When we get this PDF, so the PDF you will get soon enough after the stream ends. They will update it in the comment section. Okay, Kids Universe, we will give you the best free sources to learn the math, basic maths and programming with, see, internet is the best place to learn, and now you have all these chat GPTs, Gemini, leverage all these tools to understand what all things you can make. And it is all about practice, right? So try to learn everything every day, and one new thing, not a lot of new things, just a one new thing, and in 365 days you would have learned 365 new things, right? So that's it. I will share, uh, let's just see if I can share it. Uh, Brief roadmap if you want. We get this video. There is computer science in the branch in the end, if you can see. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Give like and share to the stream. Also, subscribe to Smarted to get posted with all these quality contents. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll be uh, joining soon tomorrow, and we'll make some great things with Cursor AI and YOLO. Thank you, guys. Good night.